love has been for the better. Absolutely. And I cringe because the profession has grown by billions of dollars.
Mm,
And it has, as we've talked about earlier, there's been so many things that have happened because I'm a coach and I'm going to market you. So there's a lot of things out there that get thrown under coaching that aren't really coaching. So it's a little bit
mhm,
muddy. But when I first started working as a coach, everybody wanted to get better at performing. It was productivity and performance, and it was presence, and most of the people that were coached were in sales, obviously sports coaching, which is a totally different thing, and then, of course, C-suite coaching, so companies were very invested in it, and still, it was about a certain population within the companies that got all the attention, and to be honest, most of it was co-coaching or very consultative coaching, so it wasn't a lot of really developing people. Talking about emotions, uh-uh. It was really tense because the first thing I started noticing is your emotional part of you is driving your perception, and how you're feeling in your body is amplifying all that, and there was this real connectedness, but people just wanted to talk about tasks, to-do list, deadline, and it was very much what I call accomplishment coaching, and I recall emotional intelligence became popular when Daniel Goleman promoted it, and that became like a wave, and with any kind of thing, you get different waves of appreciative inquiry and a wave of positive psychology, and so all that over time, I think what's happened is people have started to say, "Okay, people are whole, and they're whole at work, they're whole at home. What happens at home comes into work," and that you've got to actually invite change from a place that isn't just the doing, but also being and the thinking and the feeling and the sensing, and so I remember going into a lot of environments, and this is why we left just doing corporate trainings because people didn't wanna talk about the real stuff, the invisibles. But now you see coaching in pretty much every niche, and, like, we do a trauma-informed coaching, which is a bridge between coaching and referring someone to a therapist. You'll see spiritual coaching, you'll see very specific ADHD coaching and things like that. And so we're seeing a lot of people use coaching, the coaching method in combination with targeted problems, which is great. But what's really happening now, which is whether you call it our world status, our political craziness in the US, COVID, there people are coming in with much different needs. And that's really the biggest change is the coaching is no longer people are not just wanting to make a checklist, even though they often will come in and want to make a checklist, but they'll quickly realize that they can do that on their own, and why they're there, once they feel that sense of safety and trust within that relationship, they'll be like, "Okay, here's what else is going on, and here's how I can't get out of this experience, or I don't know how to have this conversation." And so people are coming with topics that require the deeper skills. And the coach that has that self-awareness of recognizing that this is coachable or maybe this really isn't.
Do you think this transition, like coaching, is a reflection of our society and how our society is moving from this old there's a paradigm shift, right? Collectively, and that paradigm shift is moving from this very materialistic, mental, mm, IQ over EQ and SQ to now transitioning to this very emotional based, spiritual, energetic understanding, and now we're prioritizing EQ and SQ more so over IQ.
Yeah, that's definitely happening with some populations, so emotional intelligence and social intelligence over intellectual, yeah. But I also it's fascinating 'cause I co when I come out of the bubble, when I'm no longer in a training room or around people that are coaches or in our community or outside of the coaching community here, I'm always shocked at what people are prioritizing
Mhm.
and what many of them are. wanting that deeper purpose, meaning,
Yeah.
but they don't have the means or they don't have the wherewithal or the what do you call it? The even the experience on how to be more self-aware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't feel like I said that as well as I'd like to. The it's like this I have this deep yearning. It's okay, if
yeah,
everyone could hold multiple perspectives or someone
yeah.
could step in the shoes of another person or step back and see themselves.
Hmm.
But who's been trained in that?
Yeah. There's been a
Yeah.
distraction for so long that it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable to look inward
Yeah.
because for so long we've been looking externally, going, well, our external reality is our problem. But then when we tried to look internally, many people don't even know how to start that process. And then it's painful simultaneously. So,
Yeah.
that's where the coach for me has been very significant in really holding a safe and sacred space for an individual to sit in that vulnerable place of looking inward and going, I've been numbing myself from this person for so damn long. And like now I'm sitting here and looking at them, and there's shame and embarrassment and guilt. And when that person can feel really safe and also held in that moment, and then also be able to be supported and guided and holding compassion for themselves and recognizing that this is what it is to be a human. This is the
Yeah.
human experience. Then all of a sudden that looking inward becomes much easier and appealing.
Absolutely. And I think when someone gets a chance to see themselves and have a stronger sense of who they are, then the rest of their life will align because now I'm choosing what really is matters for me and who I am and how I wanna be and how I wanna feel versus being a product of my day. And whatever comes my way, I'm in reaction to it, where I'm being very proactive in making my choices. And sometimes those choices are hard because you realize that you are in that outdated life and the person you have been for the last 20 years is no longer the person you wanna be, and that can catalyze a lot of change, and having that partnership with a coach really helps you to feel accompanied so you're not changing yourself alone, that you have someone else that's helping you go, "Alright, is this really what you wanna do in this moment, or do you really wanna say that in this way, or do you want that job?" So helping with a lot of love and compassion, helping people to kinda see themselves and make choices that honor themselves.